Hey friend. So today we are going to put together a cart that I ordered on Amazon. As of this moment, I have no idea if this cart's going to work for what I want. I don't even know if it's going to be like the right size. I just saw it online. Let me back up. So the current cart that I have my die cutting machine on works fine, but I wanted like a hanging bag to go on the side of the cart to put like my die cutting plates in and stuff like that. So I searched and searched for accessories that would go with this, that would work for this. And all I could find was like the little cups that attach to the side, and that wasn't gonna work because my top shelf of my Rascog cart is turned upside down so that I have a flat platform. So anyway, in my searching, I found this cart that has like a shelf that detaches at the top. And it's got a bag on the side. It has everything I want. So I was like, you know what? I can use the Rascog cart that I have for something else. And I could use this cart. So I made myself an iced coffee. Yes, I did. That's good. And I'm going to pull this thing off and I'm going to put it together. And then we are going to test it out and see if it's all the things I hoped and dreamed it would be. All right, so let's put it together. All right, so we got the cart assembled, and I've had two things happen since assembling the cart. One, I found out that the picture in Amazon is very deceiving, and I'm going to show that to you here, because it makes the cart look like this topper can like sit on top of the bar. Like I thought there was some sort of gripper, so I'm going to show you what I mean. And the other thing that happened in the process of setting this camera up at a new location is I pinched the living crap out of my finger, and it took me a solid 5 minutes to get myself together again before I could come back on and finish this video. I don't know about you, but there's something about stubbing a toe or pinching a finger that can make you say things that would make a preacher blush. Am I right? Okay, so let me show you this cart. Now, originally I thought, oh, we're gonna have a problem. Turns out this is probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. So here's the cart. Here's my other cart that has my die cut machine on it. This comes off, okay? And then you can store stuff in here. But in the photo on Amazon, as you saw, it looked like you could do this with this, which is what I wanted. I wanted this, oh my God, I guess you can. Okay, so let's back up. So it sits here, but I would not trust my die cut machine on this because if it got too heavy on the back, you know? So a couple things. First and foremost, yes, it sits here, but I wouldn't consider this stable at all. It's not tied down to anything or locked down. So I could have my husband put on those ring things that just go like underneath here and over, you know what I mean? They would like just be a ring that would tighten on and it would hold on to this so that this would be more secure. So there is a workaround, I think. Yeah, it's pretty finicky. You have to set it in just the right spot. So this is not something I would trust to put stuff on that was of any value. However, let me tell you the things that are miraculous that have happened that I realized, because I did set this machine on here before I came back on video, and this may be the best purchase I've ever made. So at first I thought, worst thing I've ever bought. The cart itself is really nice and sturdy. I really like it. I love the bag on the side because it's gonna hold several things, you'll see. And then this, I mean, it's sturdy. It's a nice cart. Okay, so check this out. If I take my Anna Griffin and I put it up here like this, like so, I thought, oh, this bar, at first, I thought, oh, this bar, so let's plug this in underneath here. I thought this bar is gonna be a problem because when my thing runs through, it's gonna like whack into this. Oh no, friends. Oh no, check this out. This is a solution to a problem I have had. So with this cart, when I run my stuff through my die cut machine, I have to be paying attention, because if I'm not, and it gets all the way through, it'll just fall. It'll just fall off the back, okay? Check this out. So I'm gonna run it through and watch. You guys, the bar is literally the perfect height to catch my plates. Shut up. I know. You can't even make this up. I am so excited. I am not kidding you. I'm so excited. So let's talk about a few other features of this cart that I love. It's taller, so I'm not having to bend down as far. So let me get this out of the way. I'm sorry. I'm so excited. I'm kind of all over the place. Let me get this out of the way so I can show you. Okay, so my Rascog cart, look at the difference in the height. Can you see the difference in the height? So this Rascog cart is from IKEA, and instead of this top crate being turned up, right side up to be like to catch stuff, I turned it upside down to have a platform. So that's something handy you can do with these carts. However, it's low. So when I'm sitting at my craft desk and die cutting, I do have to bend over. I do have to pay attention to my die cuts going through to make sure they don't fall off the back of the cart. Now I don't have to do that. It's taller, which means I'm not gonna have to bend as much, which is really good for my back because you know I have back issues. And yeah, I'm super happy about this purchase. And here's the best part. This cart was $34. I am not even kidding. 34 bucks, super inexpensive in my opinion. And I'm going to store all of my backup stuff for my machine in here. So rather than storing it in a drawer, I'll just store it here and I'll know that all my die cut supplies are here. So like my extra cutting plates, my, you know, just whatever, my shims. Well, actually I probably put my shim in this side storage thing. So let's deck this cart out and put some storage on it. I also love that it's black. So let's, you know, let's get this going, friends. Sorry, Rascog cart. Okay, so in this pocket here, I have to admit this pocket is a little lower than I would have wanted it to be. It would have been nice if the big pocket was up here, but I'm not gonna complain too much because, you know, we can't have it all. So I'm going to use my regular plates. This is my 2 clear plates and my magnetic plate, and I'm just going to put them in there. If I decide later, I might actually just keep them stored in the machine the way I always have, or behind it. But for now, I'm just going to stick them in here. Okay, then I also have, excuse me, I have to reach behind you here. Okay, so then I also have my metal shim and my little like rubber mat thing. So I think, and then I have my instructions. So I think I'm gonna store these actually under the machine in this little compartment, just because I don't use these very often. If I find that I'm using them more than I think, I'll probably put them here so they're a little bit easier to access. But I think, like, yeah, see, I'll have to lift the machine off. Well, you can't see it, but I'm putting it up here. Okay, so now those are in there. And Then I have my Better Press machine that I'm gonna put here. And I think I'm gonna put my letter press, I have my Better Press that I'm gonna put here, and I'm gonna put my hot foil here so that I have them all together in one spot. Okay, here's my letter press that I've never used. It is a goal. It's a goal, friends. We're gonna use it, I promise. So I have that. And then I've got my hot foil machine. And I'm gonna put that, you know what, we're gonna change this up. I'm gonna put my hot foil machine this way with the cord, and then I'm gonna put my Better Press below that. So now I have kind of like all my main machines that I'm gonna use in this cart. Let me show you. Okay, so we've got my machine on the top. Those extra plates are here. I gotta turn this around so I can see you. I got my Better Press, my letter press, my hot foil and my Better Press. And then on the side, we have my plates, which I'm already thinking that I'm gonna store them like this. Look, how perfect is that? So I can just set them there. I could even set them this direction. That's better, okay? And then I'll take those other plates out of this part and put them down there. And then the other thing you can see is I've got my heat embossing tool, and I'm thinking it can go perfectly right here. Maybe not, maybe that's not deep enough. Okay, so if that doesn't work, I could do this. Check it out. Well, let's put it in the center so it doesn't get all cattywampus. And then that allows me to have my heat tool very handy as well. So I am really happy with this cart. This has answered a lot of prayers. Like, I did not like how this part just fell off the back on my other cart. I didn't like how low to the ground it was. Let me just show you really quick. Here's my craft table, right? So here I am, crafting, have my little drink, need a sip. And check this out. So I'm gonna bring this over. I'll deal with that in a minute. So look at how tall it is. It's almost the same height as my craft table. And all of my craft tables, all of my stuff is standing height, like 36 inches, because of my back. So if you're new around here, I have a spinal fusion. So that is really good for me. So that if I'm standing, it's more at standing height. If I'm sitting, I'm not like stooping over to like get to stuff. Super excited. So your question, what am I going to do with the other cart? I don't know yet. There'll be something. Come on, friend. You know, I'll figure something out. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. We put a cart together. We had some iced coffee together. We have an amazing solution. Yes, I will link to the cart below the video. Of course, you know that. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.